back to another episode of the Half a Nice Day podcast with your host Joshua.
And Janine.
And we are currently doing episode 9, and it's a very special topic that we're going to be talking about in lieu of World Mental Health Day that is remembered and commemorated tomorrow on October 10.
So we're recording this October 9th, guys, and tomorrow is World Mental Health Day. And I guess, the day is commemorated to spread awareness about mental health issues. And I think it's very apt at this time that we talk about it because more and more people are getting anxious about the situation that we are all in. This pandemic really shook the world and took it by storm. Like, no one expected this to happen. And when things are unexpected, that's when people react differently to it. And majority of the reaction would be anxiousness, probably even falling into depression if you're not able to, catch it from the get-go. And so this topic is going to be a little bit more serious than our usual topics where we laugh. I'm sure we're still going to laugh in between because that's what we do.
Yeah, we try to make light of, in a humorous way, of certain topics.
Yeah.
At least I do.
Yeah, I think that's
how
my
coping mechanism.
Yeah, that's how you cope up with sadness and anxiety. Yeah. So we wanted to spread awareness about Okay, let's spread awareness about the world.
Yeah, I don't know what's on the other side of this.
About mental health. And mental health is a person's condition with regard to their psychological and emotional well-being.
Brava.
Yes.
So mental health in a way is not about controlling your thoughts, but in a way as well, not letting your thoughts control you. So before we begin this episode, I just want to reinstate that we are not professionals in any way.
Not at all.
And we encourage you guys to seek help. Did I just whistle when I said that?
Yeah. Seek help? Are you a lifeguard?
Wait, this guy's depression. But we will provide a listening ear to everyone, a shoulder to cry on if you do need it. And we encourage everyone to open up at the end of the day, but we'll get more into that later as we share our handy advice.
Yeah.
More or less, we are not islands. We're not self-sustaining at the end of the day. We always need someone to rely on. You need that support group to always back you up. You need a good friend who's always going to be listening to you whenever you want to share something that is a burden to you, something that you're carrying in your heart.
And if you feel that you don't have that person now, guys, we're here. We promise. Just slide into our DMs. We'll try to lend an ear, an eye, both eyes, I guess, hopefully.
We'll try to give you good advice.
A shoulder to cry on if need be. This whole episode, we are just trying our best to put out information that we've also researched. If you really want to learn more about mental health and how to understand, people around you who are suffering from some of the issues, research, read, get yourself acquainted to the subject, and don't be naive about what's happening around you.
So true.
So I guess let's start. What are the common mental health disorders? Anxiety, which a lot of people are going through anxiety right now. Again, with the uncertainty. When are we going to get the cure to COVID? When is this whole pandemic going to end? We don't know. And uncertainty brings anxiety.
Yeah, and it's also a ripple effect what the whole COVID situation has done, like people losing their jobs. Now there's the anxiety as well of, will I get another job? When will I get another job?
Yeah.
Or will I be able to still visit my family back home?
Yeah.
A lot of things are coming to mind when it comes to a situation like this, like such as a global pandemic.
I guess especially here in the UAE. So for those who don't live here, if you're not a local or if you're not an Emirati, you can't stay in the country without, a working visa or a permit to be here. So you can stay, I guess, for a couple of days, weeks, or months. But then once your sponsorship from either a company or, your own business, if you don't have that, you have to leave the country.
Sayonara, muchacho.
Yeah, hence why a lot of people get really anxious once they lose that, their jobs. Because it's not only about losing your monetary allowance that you get every single month, but it's also about where am I going to stay? And for us, to buy us home.
Yeah.
Where are we gonna go? Our families are here, right?
Everything we know is here.
Yeah.
I know that's another reason which I always tell my colleagues as well. Whenever you are sick in any way, please stay at home, because you know the mentality of people here in the UAE.
Yeah.
Is that their job is everything. It's
Yeah.
their security. It's what makes them stay here in this country.
Because they came here for the job. They came here to get a job. Yeah.
And they're all tied to this job. So that's the reason why when they're sick in any way, they still go to work, because few absences might get them
cause them to lose their job.
Exactly.
It's really sad.
It's very scary as well.
Because you risk not only your mental health but also your physical health by just pushing yourself so much.
Exactly. And it's very risky as well to you and to people around you.
That is so true.
Yeah.
And well, if it gets a little bit further than just anxiety, then you fall into depression as well. You also have panic disorders, phobias, which we've talked about in our fears episode. There's insomnia, eating disorders, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, bipolar, schizophrenia. Did I say it correctly?
Yeah.
There you go. And clinical depression. There's a lot. Clinical.
There's also existential crisis when you hit that moment.
Yeah. There's so much more, guys, but those are some of the common mental health disorders that majority of people would know. Yeah. So just to put a number to that, so according to World Health Organization, 1 in 4 World Health Organization.
Yeah, and I'm just
sorry.
WHO?
Yes, according to the WHO, mental health disorders affect 1 in 4 people. If you're in a room with 4 people, 1 out of you would be suffering from mental health. Might not be as drastic as it is, but there's a spectrum to it.
Right.
So either you have mild anxiety disorders, but then, it can also go further into really, really bad depression, clinical depression, where you actually have to get treated. And I guess to spread awareness about that, people need to understand that there are many factors to mental health problems. So you have biological factors, which can be from genetics. So either your family lineage be passed on to you. It can also be from life experiences. So you might have, gone through a really traumatic experience that might have triggered or caused the issue to worsen. Then you have your family history and many more. So as you said earlier, from your job. So it depends on your job status, your education, where you're living, your housing quality, your level of social involvement. Are you talking to people? Are you isolating yourself? So it does involve a lot of factors, and we can't say that there's only one cause to it. And also, we can't say that people can snap out of it if they want to.
I like what you said, like about the snapping out of it, because people usually think that, oh, this is something that you can just walk it out and like just take a walk and get some fresh air and you'll be magically cured.
Yeah.
It's more than that, guys. So we should be sensitive and we shouldn't think of this as something very light.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
Because now there's medications for it. There are people who work and are therapists just for the sole purpose of people having depression and anxiety or some form of PTSD as well.
Yeah.
Like a moment in your life or in your childhood which caused you some sort of trauma.
Yeah.
That you have carried.
Yeah, and sometimes you won't be aware of it. Like you won't be aware of it, and then let's say you're outside having dinner or having lunch with family, and then something happens that triggers something in you, and you'll suddenly just feel a huge rush of emotions wherein you can't explain. And I think that's the difficult part to it. Like a lot of people who suffer from mental health disorders, the reason why they get more anxious about it is because they just want to snap out of it as well. They want to get out of that zone where they feel depressed, they feel sad, they feel suddenly lonely, but they don't know how to. And they're mad at themselves for not being able to get out of it. That's what adds to it even more so.
And I would say this as well, because I've personally faced this. Like I've woke up on like certain days on the wrong side of the bed.
Yeah.
And I would be really sad and depressed, and my anxiety will kick in within 10 seconds of me waking up.
Yeah.
and I cannot find the root cause of it. I don't know why I woke up in this manner.
Yeah.
And then I start to hate myself even more, and it causes like a chain reaction. Then I might get really moody, and there are days I don't want to talk to anyone. I just put on my earphones and I just want to like shut myself out from the world, because I know that if someone comes and talks to me, I will be in a really bad mood to that person.
Yeah.
Like, I even hate small talk to some extent.
Oh man.
But I hate small talk in general anyway.
Yeah.
But there's no real explanation for me why I am feeling like this.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a midlife crisis. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe it's
lifestyle. There's so much.
exactly.
Lifestyle, the food you eat.
Maybe even lack of sleep.
Yeah, lack of sleep is
exercise.
a big thing as well. Yeah.
So I think you just have to find out what triggers you as well.
Yeah.
What spawns this into your mind, or how it comes about, why you dwell so much into it.
I think the first thing really is awareness as well. Before you start anything, just the fact that you're aware about your feelings, about your sudden, swift changes in your mood, that is already a big thing. The fact that you're acknowledging that there's something different in you, that there's something that you haven't felt before, is, I believe, the first step. Because shoving it under the rug and saying, no, I'm okay. No, whatever I'm feeling, that's fine. Because that's how it used to be with our parents. And I just want to touch on that subject, especially in Asia, because I feel that there is this stigma of mental health issues for them. I mean, it's for the older generation. It's the concept of, oh, you're not feeling okay? Just shove it under the rug.
Just bottle it up. Be a real man. Yeah.
Like, man up.
I hate that saying, man up.
Don't cry.
Men don't cry. No.
Men don't cry. Just, put your head down, do what you're supposed to do, and get cracking.
Provide for your family.
Yeah.
All aspects of toxic masculinity as well.
Yeah.
But it is a very big, and I don't think talked about subject in Asia about mental health.
Yeah.
Especially so in a continent like Asia, where growing up, especially our parents, they would do so much without saying a word. I'm sure everyone can relate to this in a way, like their parents has gone through thick and thin just to provide for their family, just to put dinner on the table without complaining at all. But it does take a toll upon them.
Yeah.
And it's slow. It's a very slow process. But at the end of the day, like when they go to sleep, they know, oh, this is going to happen again tomorrow.
They are so resilient.
Very resilient.
Our parents. Yeah. I cannot imagine what they've gone through. They might have been feeling, anxiety, depression, but they can't really talk about it because it wasn't a topic that families would talk about, that children would open up to their parents about. Our parents left their own hometowns at a young age, and they had to be in a foreign country to work and provide for their families. Like, my mom was 21. My dad was 19 when he left Beirut, and when my mom left Subic, 21. I can't imagine being in a foreign country, not having family, not having anyone, and going to work every single day because you have to provide for your family. And you can't complain. Imagine.
It's a crazy thing as well.
Yeah.
At 19, 18, what were we doing?
Right,
can you imagine?
right.
Like, I was maybe just looking at Sharaf DG for the next Nokia phone or something.
Yeah. I would probably, throw a tantrum if I don't get whatever I wanted.
So that's something I actually wanted to say, because, there are two sides to every story. Like, growing up, you're in a supermarket.
Yeah.
Let's say, oh, I saw an Archie comic and I wanted it. And I'm like, Dad, can you buy this for me?
Yeah.
And he obviously would say no, it's not part of what's on the grocery list and something. And I want to know what he felt in that moment. Like, did he think that he's a failure for not providing to his kid whatever the kid wanted, or am I teaching this kid discipline, or is that's out of my budget? There's nothing in my bank account right now, and I'm just literally putting the bare minimum to the table.
Deep.
So I never know. From a kid's perspective, I'm like, I hate my dad.
Yeah.
But from his side, he's like, I'm a failure. And like, my kids want something that is not on the list, and I'm not able to provide.
And now you
it's
grow
very
up
saddening.
and you think back,
it's always like that.
and you're like, man, I must have gotten my parents to hell and back with how we used to act. I'm not saying we're the worst kids ever, okay, but of course there would be times where we would throw tantrums because Why is it that my classmates would have my classmates would have the latest, I don't know, 8210 Nokia phone,
that was a good
or
phone.
the latest Nike Cortez phone? Why?
Nike Cortez phone.
Sorry.
Hello?
That would have been a cool phone.
No, but I think that's Dubai in a nutshell as well.
Mm.
You get accustomed to a certain lifestyle,
That's true.
and when you don't see like the glitz and the glam,
Applied to your
then-
life, yeah, you don't understand
Yeah.
it. As a kid, you won't be able to understand it. And then you grow up and you're like, wow, my parents actually did well with the budget that we
had,
We
yeah,
use
growing
it,
up,
yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I think this applies loosely as well. That's Instagram for you as well. We talked about it in our social media episode.
Yeah.
So do listen to that as well, guys, if you haven't already. But we compare ourselves to others on a daily basis. Every time we open Instagram,
Yeah.
we see, oh wow, look at this financial trader.
Yeah.
He's in Barasti on a weekday,
Mm-hmm.
working from his phone, sipping whatever drink he has
Yeah.
a 6-pack, has his life together. And here, the rest of the population is struggling to make ends meet. And we always compare ourselves to others. And that's another form of why anxiety kicks in. Especially people who are age group.
Yeah.
Like, I just showed Janine a meme of this kid, this YouTuber, what's his name? The guy who reviews toys. He's literally like...
Ryan's Toys.
Yeah, he hasn't even hit
Yeah.
puberty yet and he's already a millionaire.
Yeah.
Imagine how many people that must have hit hard, like...
That's true.
Yeah.
It is tough. I guess, like, it's good that social media is out there and there are so many other means for us to spread awareness about mental health. But at the same time, it's also difficult for people to see people's successes, to
Yeah.
see people moving forward, people breaking records, and then compare your own successes and probably your own failures to that, especially if you're going through a hard time. So you have to be aware of where you're at in life and make sure that you use tools around you as proper tools to help you and not to bring you even further down the drain.
Use it to your advantage.
Exactly. Yeah. And go back to our social media episode if you want to hear more about that, because
Yeah.
we've talked about the boons and the banes of social media. Yeah. And I guess just going back to how common mental health disorders are, is that you're more likely to experience a mental health illness or issue rather than develop heart disease or diabetes or any kind of cancer.
Is that real?
It is real. Again,
So the
according
chances
to
of you getting into a depression slump or
anxiety
or any-
OCD or insomnia, there's so many disorders out there, again 1 in 4 people, that you're more likely to get it than a heart disease or a physical
some physical
health
ailment. Yeah.
condition. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Mm.
Because all of us are more concerned at the end of the day about our physical health.
Yeah, and when you think about it, when people say, oh, she's ill or oh, she's sick, people think about the physical aspect to it right away. Oh, is it cancer, or is it something else? But people forget to think about the mental illness as well. It's not only the physical aspect to it, there's also the mental aspect to it. So when someone's ill, it's not always about the physicality of it.
It's about what's going on upstairs in the
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you know that people call in sick when, like, let's say that they broke their leg or broken arm or they have the flu.
Yeah.
Do you think it's also okay, or people should call in sick to work when they're feeling really down and depressed?
I think they should.
Yeah?
Imagine coming to work where you're already super down and you're just trying to crack on with your day. I don't think you should come to work when you don't feel mentally stable, because you're just pushing yourself even more down the drain.
Exactly.
And in a way, you should also think about the business, because you might not be able to perform as how you usually do, and you might put out work that is not 100% done or finished, and it might cause some monetary, I wouldn't say issues,
Some
but
business disruptions.
yeah. because of that. So I guess you're doing both yourself and the company a favor. And I guess companies need to be more sensitive to this topic, and they need to start looking out after their employees as well. That it's not always just about physical health. And for Mental Health Day in the US, I think you can ask for a day off during Mental Health Day. Well, now it's on a Saturday, which fell on a weekend. But usually when it's on a weekday, when I was doing my research, you can actually ask for a day off, and they won't take it out of your annual leaves.
Vacation days.
Exactly.
No, but I've seen it as a trend now. I've seen companies offering mental health days as well, where you can just try to calm down what's going on in your mind, take a day off to personally work on yourself.
Yeah.
And I really love that fact, because I've seen employers who don't understand how important mental health is to one.
Yeah, who are not that flexible.
To a certain person or a certain individual. And it's really sad as well, it never occurs to them that this might be worse than, I don't want to say like some really bad disease, but worse than certain diseases as well.
Yeah. But what's sad about that is that the more that they're strict about it, the more that their employees would be scared to actually voice up that they're not feeling okay. And then one day they'll just wake up and you're already in the worst end of the stick. So imagine you just, again, shoving it under the rug, coming to work, just doing your thing, but you're already feeling the symptoms. You're already feeling the anxiety looming, the depression looming in, and one day you just wake up and you...
What if it's the job that is causing this person to be depressed? Like, they're so burned out, they hate what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. That's a very sensitive topic.
Yeah, that's a very tough conversation to have.
I would say assess what's causing the anxiety, and if it's really your job, is it worth going to work every single day in expense of your mental health?
Like waking up feeling that dread of going to work.
Yeah.
Spending your 8 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 6, whatever.
Yeah. Is it worth it?
Coming back home feeling worse than you did in the morning.
Yeah. And then maybe even having your personal life affected because you're already super drained out from work. So assess your life and see if you're okay with that your mental health is being affected by your work, by your job, by your daily activities at work. And if you're not okay with that, then you have to think of your steps to get yourself out of there.
Yeah.
And what are your next... don't just get yourself out of there without having a plan, because then if you leave and you don't have a source of income, that might even drive you further into depression.
Yeah.
So
it's a downward spiral from there.
Yeah, it is a downward spiral. So be careful about the decisions that you make, but for sure, think about, weigh your options and put out a plan. Just keep swimming.
Mm-hmm.
As
Stay
Dory
afloat.
says.
As what says?
Dory. From Finding Dory.
That's nice.
So another thing that I found out while researching about mental health, specifically in Asia, in the Philippines, there's an alarming rate of youth aged 13 to 17 who have attempted to commit suicide. So that's 17% of teenagers aged 13 to 17. And that's only within the people that they've interviewed and the people who have participated in the survey. What about those that, we haven't reached, or the survey?
What do you think is the cause of this, though?
I think there's a lot. Again, there's a lot. It's probably not being okay with how their parents are treating them. Studies, again, with Asian parents in comparison to other parents from other nationalities. I think there's a big expectation for children to do well in school.
I've noticed it as well, that Asian parents do have unrealistic expectations of their children. So they want the kids to be the best in the class. And I imagine all the parents of all those kids who are in that one class.
Yeah.
All the kids are just fighting each other just to come out on top.
Yeah.
And obviously, when one guy misses a perfect grade by 1 mark, that'll affect him like he doesn't even know.
That fear of like bringing home that test paper to your
bringing
parents.
Shame onto the family.
Yeah, imagine if you didn't hit the mark and you get your examination paper and you have, because from how I remember it in school, I had to have my examination paper signed by my parents.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same.
Same.
Yeah. So imagine if it didn't hit the mark, or if it's not on like the 90s and above. That was the rule with my mom. If I hit the 80s, I would be so nervous. Going home, I'm already thinking of, oh my gosh, what will my mom say? What will my mom say? And I already have this spiel in my head like, Mom, it's okay because the first honor got like 88. So
yeah.
the benchmark is already like really high. So if I got 85 and she got 88, I'm good.
I'm close.
Okay, okay, Mom.
For me, it was the complete different story. If I see I got a 50 and above, I'm like, woot.
A 50?
I would be so happy.
Isn't 50 failing?
No, 50 is barely passing.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's out of 100. So if I'm on the second,
like if I get the line of 7,
oh, I would be even happier if I hit that.
If I get the line of 7, I am. Oh gosh.
Your dad would take out his belt.
My dad didn't he didn't really care. It was more of my mom.
My parents were like that at the beginning. So they wanted me to be the best student and everything, but I was a
then they gave
complete nutcase, and now they just wanted the bare minimum. You know, like
they're like, okay,
Josh gets 50. Let's go out to Ponderosa and have dinner.
Let's have a buffet.
Yeah, it was celebrating.
Let's lower down the level.
Because growing up, I really didn't enjoy studying.
Yeah,
I was always glued to the TV. I was always one of those kids.
Yeah. See, children have different learning capabilities, and we shouldn't just put them in one box and say, okay, all of the kids should be learning this way, or all of the kids would enjoy this particular subject, because it's not. We're all cut out differently, and not everyone will be CEOs. Not everyone will be, the
successful
inventor of, or a Nobel Prize winner, or a Pulitzer Prize winner. Not successful. I don't think that's really bad. Success is not being a CEO or winning any awards.
It is.
It's not.
It isn't.
It isn't.
Yeah.
Success, you have your own definition of success. Like, to some people, being a mother is their definition of successful.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And then there are other people who, until they get the top position in their company, then they won't deem themselves successful. It really depends. And for me, I am successful. Like, having a great relationship with my family, having this podcast, having a job that provides. That's
your definition.
Successful. Like, having loving friends around me, having people who care about me. That's my definition of successful. And to other people, it just depends. So, also depends how they grew up. Again, as we said earlier, it's a factor to mental health illnesses. It depends on how you grow up, the pressures that you get from your families, from your grandparents, from your siblings, comparison. All of that affects how you grow up and how your mind perceives success.
That is so well said, actually. Like, my definition of success is also completely different from yours.
Yeah.
So it really does make sense.
So you want to be a CEO? Is that your definition of success?
I think my definition of success is waking up one day without existential dread.
Yeah. If that's, to some people, they just want to wake up without pain, physical, mental pain. If that's your definition of success, then bravo to you for being able to accomplish that every single day.
It varies from person to person as well. Like, for me, I'm still taking baby steps. I don't know where I am in life. I don't know what I should be doing. I'm stuck in a crossroads. Should I go left? Should I go right? Take the road less traveled, do something on my own, or follow the fish, follow the flow, and do something which everyone's already doing. So I don't know. That's where I wake up to every day. That's what goes on in my head every single day of my life.
And shutting some of the negative thoughts in your head is very difficult, guys. Practicing mental
mindfulness.
Practicing mindfulness and being self-aware of these thoughts. That's a hard task to do. Not everyone is capable of that.
Like, what is your coping mechanism, though? Do you have anything that you turn to, or something that you you look for whenever you start having like a depressive episode, I would say,
Yeah.
or something when you feel down? What would you do? What would be the first thing that you do? Or
I think first of all, before I answer that question, I just really want to express I'm really blessed that I don't have the genetic, how do I say it?
DNA?
Yeah, the DNA and how my genes are built, I guess. I don't have it in my system. I don't have those depressive tendencies in my system. Yes, I do get anxious. Yes, there are sad moments in life, but I get it good compared to so many people out there. So I'm really, really blessed in that aspect. But of course, when the situation gets tough, and also I would have to say I grew up in a really, really good household. My parents raised me well. We didn't grow up in a really poor household. We were
Middle
able,
class.
middle class. We
Yeah.
were able. We always had food on our table. We didn't have to work super hard for it. Yes, my parents worked hard when I was younger, and I see them, going through tough times. But we were able compared to so many out there. So in that aspect, again, I'm very blessed, and I guess that really makes up for a huge chunk of removing those factors that may trigger these mental health disorders. And so to answer your question, some of the things that I do is when I wake up, again, no phones. First of all, I take it out. When I wake up, the first thing I do is practice gratefulness. Like, thank you, God, that I woke up today. Thank you for another life, another day in my life. Not another life. Ooh, I'm living another life.
Whose body is this? Whose body did I wake up in?
Am I a dog? Am I a cat? Who am I today? But yes, practicing gratefulness is one of the major things that I would say help me get through bad times.
That that's very tough for me to do. Like practicing gratitude, having a gratitude journal, which is a lot of like it's the main thing which people say when you feel down. Like think of all the good things that are happening in your life.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of good things going on in my life as well, but I just don't see it as good things at the end of the day. Like my blessings, like let's say like a job or I'm just throwing it out there, like a job or a hobby or something which I should be proud of. I don't feel proud of it. So
why would you say that you're not proud of them?
Because it's something which everyone can do at the end of the day. It's nothing that makes me stand out.
Like it's nothing extraordinary.
Exactly, which like let's say I'll just throw an example of
I just wanted to ask you a question before you move forward.
Okay, go.
Why do you think that you shouldn't be proud of what you're doing and what you have, or be grateful for all of those if they're not extraordinary, even if they're ordinary things?
Because for me, the way I see it, and I know it's a very bad thing to dwell upon, but if everyone has it, then it's not unique. So let's say for a job, for instance, like if someone would complain, oh, they don't like their job or they don't like where they are in their careers, most people would not even die. And I would say die, that's too extreme, but most people would love to trade their place with me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like they say, oh, this guy has a job I haven't.
Would kill to be in your place, to be in your position, yeah.
Exactly. And they would, from the outside looking in, they would think, oh, you work in a big company or you get this much salary. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't feel content. A lot of people might be feeling this as well. I don't know if I'm the only one.
Yeah.
But it is stuff, like things which which I take for granted, people would kill to be in my position. And I don't feel that inside myself though. I don't feel like, I feel like there's a lot that I have to still work on and time is against me.
But see, that's a good thing when you say that you feel that there's so much more you have to work on. Because you look forward. First, you're aware that there's so many things that you have to improve on.
Yeah.
And that already in itself is good that you're aware of that. And second is that you have this longing to move forward. Because there are a lot of people out there who don't feel like they need to move forward.
Because they're comfortable. And I know that I should lean into discomfort.
Yeah. But being comfortable is not...
It's not a negative
not
trait or
having that want to move forward. Being content about where you are is one thing, and another thing is moving forward. Like I'm grateful. How do I say it? I'm content with where I'm at in life, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to move forward. I always want to move forward. Like when I achieve something, okay, what's next? Doesn't mean next tomorrow. It means next in
stage
like 3
of your
4
life.
years. Yeah. What's the next plan?
See, I don't think that much ahead of my life. Like I know what I want to do, but I don't have it all mapped out.
Yeah, and because people are different. We all have different things and different ways to work with the life that we have. There are some people who are planners, some people who are more organized, some people who are more happy-go-lucky. It's just, what is the most comfortable way for you to navigate through your life and do that? You don't have to be like me, who really plans ahead and who journals when I don't feel okay, who, I have my quiet time, I open up my Bible and I really read the word, and those are the things that help me overcome tough times. But that doesn't mean that those are the same things that will help you to overcome whatever's going through within your mind, within your life. All of us are different. And I think the key thing to that is knowing, again, being self-aware of where you're at and knowing what are the tools that you can use to help you move forward. And I guess one of the things really, and I've never tried it, but I always hear from a lot of people that therapy have, changed their life or their lives. And when I was researching, there were 2 very interesting websites that I've stumbled upon. So these are like online therapy websites, and I think they have apps. So there's BetterHelp and Talkspace. So I guess you have to pay a monthly fee with them, and then you'll be matched with a therapist.
So I have BetterHelp.
Okay.
I haven't started any counseling or anything.
Okay.
But I downloaded the app to see what it was all about.
Mm-hmm.
So you sign up, you tell them what problems you have. Do you feel?
They have a questionnaire, right?
Yeah, they have it's a 5-minute questionnaire about your self-esteem, how you think about yourself, and they match you with a therapist.
Yeah.
I think the price for BetterHelp is $60 per week. And
per week. Okay.
Therapy isn't cheap. Yeah, that's the thing. So, but I highly recommend anyone who has that financial means or want to take control of their mental health to do therapy.
I'm not sure if it was BetterHelp or Talkspace that I tried, but there's also an option of, if you're not able to pay for the weekly fee.
Yeah, there will be some form of waiver or discount.
Or some support. And then maybe for others, check if it's covered with your insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it is, take advantage of that and go for it. There's nothing wrong with seeking help, guys.
So I have this app as well. It's called 7 Cups.
Mm-hmm.
It matches you with people who you can just chat with.
Nice.
Tell them about your problems. And it's free, completely free. I would suggest anyone who really wants someone to talk to that is outside their friend circle. And
so these are not professionals, right? These are just people that you can talk to.
There are a few professionals. There's also a bot. So if people are busy, there's this bot who gives you like ways to calm down and advice as well, which is really good. Like robots are our new therapist as well.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how customized that can be, but if it helps, it helps, right?
Yeah.
It's a start. You touched upon coping mechanisms like being calm, and I guess breathing exercises fall into that as well. That's another thing that can help you.
So I always turn to humor and breathing. I always try to diffuse tense situations with humor.
Yeah.
My brother and we connect by sending depression memes to each other. And
and sometimes he send it to me as well, and I'm like,
they can't see your face, so you have to
I was doing a flat face, guys.
No, but that's how. So I don't know whoever has watched me do comedy, but my first 2 minutes or 3 minutes is about depression. And
you guys should come and watch him if you're in Dubai.
Yeah, if you like self-deprecating humor, or what Janine says, self-depreciating humor.
I didn't say self-depreciating.
You said it once though. Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah, but on while typing or WhatsApping me.
Oh yes, true.
But that's the way I talk about very sensitive issues. I like to bring some form of humor. I like to laugh at things which a lot of people don't laugh about. That's my kind of humor. Some people call it dark, but I just think it's something that is very real in today's world.
Yeah.
Like people always have a negative connotation to, like, let's say I don't know what people are gonna think about me saying this, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. But like about suicide or anything like that, I try to bring it to in a form where people can openly communicate about it.
Yeah, you help spread awareness.
Yeah,
about mental health.
exactly, through
That's really
in the form of
important.
comedy.
Yeah, it's really important, especially again, we're in Asia, the Middle East, where it's not a common thing to talk about.
Exactly. And I know people laugh, like my biggest laughs I get when I talk about depression, because these are things which people don't realize themselves, but when they hear it in a form of comedy, that's when they laugh. Those are my biggest jokes. Those are like the biggest laughs that I get.
Yeah.
And it is calming to see in a way, and I think that people do have some form of depression when it comes to working in the Middle East. Like what we touched upon a while ago, like about their whole livelihood being here. So it is something that I think all of us should just consider as well and talk openly. I don't think you should talk with any strings attached in a way at the end of the day. Just try to find that support group and some form of something that you can hold on to when it comes to certain dire times in your life.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Mm-hmm.
So to wrap up everything that we've said, let's move on to our handy advice.
Pew, 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 pew.
That's our sound for not for handy advice. That's our sound for rapid fire questions.
Yeah, sorry guys, we decided to keep it out of this episode.
Yeah, I don't think it's apt to like ask questions about each other's mental health, unless you want to talk to me about it after.
No, that I
feel
can
like
do
you've
in
released
person.
some.
I've released like 1%.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about it later.
Are you my therapist?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not, again, I'm not
I'm
a
not a
professional.
licensed professional, but I will.
But I will listen to you.
Thank you.
That's my
Thank you.
That's my promise to you as your co-host. So my handy advice is, like Joshua, do not be ashamed to say or to voice out what you're going through. Seek advice when needed. Because, again, I'm just going to put in another stat that I found while I was researching, that 2/3 of those who are affected with a mental health disorder do not seek help. And that's when things become worse. So try and seek help as much as you can. Open up to people. Don't feel like you have a defect. Don't feel like there's something wrong with you and that you just have to snap out of it as what other people say. Like, let's try to remove the stigma out of mental health disorders and just say that, oh, it's her choice to be depressed, or it's his choice to be depressed. Let's move away from those lines and be there for people. Like, if you're not suffering from it, or even if you're suffering from it, support people around you. Make sure that you're there to listen. And instead of saying that, oh, you're gonna be fine, oh, you can snap out of it, or oh, you have the choice to get out of it if you want to, it's all in you. Let's move away from those lines and those dialogues and make sure that you say more of, okay, tell me more about it. I don't know much about mental health disorders, but tell me more about it. I'm here to listen. I'm willing to listen, and give them a sense of validation that, oh, I understand how difficult it may be for you. Or you can even say, I don't understand how difficult it may be for you, but I'm here. I know that you're in pain. Validate their feelings. Do not negate what these people feel, because you'll never know until you're in their position.
Yeah.
So never say, oh, it's fine. You're going to be fine. You're sad? Just let's go out, Get yourself out of your house, because you're sad because you're always alone. You always, hide in your apartment. Let's go out. Let's have fun. Move away from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also careless ignorance. Like, if you don't know what the other person is going through and you just tell them, hey, cheer up, no, things will get better soon, without knowing the reason or without knowing why it would get better, just try to just empathize with that person.
Yeah. Don't
tell a depressed person to cheer up. It doesn't work like that. And just be sensitive to what they're feeling. Like what Janine said is perfect. Just say, okay, if you know about the topic, talk to them about it. If you don't know, just say, I don't know what you're talking about, but do you want to talk to me about it?
Exactly.
Maybe I can give you perspective of someone who doesn't know much about this topic, but still would love to share some information about whatever that said person knows what they're going through.
Yeah.
Or my thought process when it comes to all this is, I'm at the end of the day, I always go to bed thinking, oh, what am I going to do different tomorrow? But I never do anything different. I know what I have to do. I know what I have to run towards. But I never take that first step, which is also a very bad thing. I know I give a lot of advice during the show, Janine, as well. But from my part, I also find it very hard to implement whatever I've said. And it's all human nature, guys. Don't feel bad like if you listen to an episode and we challenge you to do something, or we ask you to do something that'll benefit you in the long run and you don't do it. That's also okay. Know where you stand in life. Know what you have to run towards. Know what makes you happy, and try to take baby steps and push yourself to get it done.
Yeah, little steps.
Yeah.
You don't have to go from 0 to 100 right away.
Yeah, you're not a Porsche. Not a Lamborghini.
A
Lamborghini. But one thing that I really enjoy when I do have my down days, when I want to just be alone, is that I just sit down and I'm just one with my thoughts. I understand what's going on in my mind, or if I want to be in an outside environment, I go out to a coffee shop, or I just sit somewhere and I just people watch. And
I love people watching.
Yeah, and I love putting a story to, like, because everyone does have a story to tell at the end of the day, and I've said this multiple times on this podcast. But just sit by yourself, keep your phone away, keep all distractions away. Know what goes on in your mind. What do you think about when you see a guy in a suit? What do you see in a woman who wears yoga pants? What comes to your mind? And just sit with your mind and just relax together.
Yeah,
that would be my handy advice as well. And if you do have time out of a day to spare for yourself, which is completely by yourself, I would suggest you get apps like Headspace and Calm, which do provide 10 minutes guided meditation and breathing exercises. That has helped me a lot during the pandemic.
Yeah, if you feel awkward doing it just on your own and you don't know where to start, I guess those are good apps because, as you said, they're guided. So someone will guide you on what to do and how to go through 10 minutes of meditation.
Like, I have a paid subscription for Calm and I haven't opened it since lockdown, which is really bad as well, guys. I need to make time for myself throughout the day. I'm a guy who always says I don't have this luxury of time like everyone else does.
Yeah.
I don't know why I say it, but it's something that's innate in me. Whenever someone asks me, "Hey, come out for this," I'm like, I don't have time. And when I do actually have time, I'm just sitting on my phone, on YouTube, on Instagram instead, where I could have been doing like breathing exercises or meditation. But I've come back to the routine of reading before I sleep. So that's also a step for me in a way.
Yeah.
Get rid of my phone 30 minutes, the last 30 minutes of your day before you go to sleep. Make it all about you. Lock your door if you live in a family. If you live with your family.
If you live in a family.
If you're inside your dad.
You're so weird.
I know, I am. That's my humor. But just make it all about you. But just dedicate some time out of a day for you. I know some of you might be having families. Some of you might be living with a loved one, a girlfriend, or a husband.
And you feel that it is selfish to...
No, it's not.
No, like, exactly. It's not selfish for you to help yourself and put yourself first.
That's what I wanted to say, actually, when you were giving the beginning of your advice. Some people feel shame.
Yeah.
When they say that they're in therapy. Or I was also in that mindset long time ago when I heard, "Oh, I just have to see my therapist." And I'm like, why do you have to see a therapist?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah. But there's no shame in taking control of your mental health. And I truly admire the people now who have a therapist or doing something in their day.
I'm actually really jealous of them because I've been hearing a lot of good things about people who are going through therapy. And whenever they say that, "Oh, I'm going through therapy and it's the best thing ever," I wish I started it from way back.
Yeah.
So if you can and you're able to, seek therapy.
Yeah, there are a lot of branches as well. If you don't want to do therapy, then find a life coach or a nutritionist or a personal trainer as well.
Yeah. So exercise.
Yeah.
But that's for another episode.
That's another episode.
Yeah.
And before we close, is that all you have to say? Yeah. So I just want to also say again that I've dedicated the last 2 years, I would say 2 or 3 years, in self-development, and it has taken me nowhere. I don't know why. I don't know what's stopping me from moving forward. I've gone to Tony Robbins event. I've read all his books. I've read every self-help book that people might be knowing about or heard of, but it has taken me nowhere. So I don't know what that what that's about, or
you might think that it has taken you nowhere, but I'm sure it has helped you in little ways you might not even be aware of.
Yeah, I don't know. The way I see it, maybe I'm not looking at the bigger picture, and I'm just constrained to what I've been having in my mind this whole time.
Yeah. Because see, if you're able to give advice and you're able to talk about it, that is a sign of improvement already. And to you, it might not seem like it is an improvement or that it has helped you in any way. But I see that. It's not like I know you from pre-Tony Robbins and after. And don't be too hard on yourself. You are too hard on yourself. You're doing well. You're doing amazing.
I'm trying. I'm taking one day at a time.
As long as you're trying, you're already half the battle in.
Half the battle in.
I don't know if that's the right word.
That's already half the battle.
There you go.
There you go. Tony Robbins said it at his event.
Did he say
that?
No,
I'm kidding.
Whoa. Maybe I can be the nice Tony Robbins.
But before we end it, before we tell you where you can find us, just keep your head up high. I know it's
keep swimming, just keep
things
swimming.
I don't want to say things will get better, but that's all up to you, but keep trying, I would say, at least.
Yeah.
It's World Mental Health Day. Go reach out to someone. Go talk to someone. Spare at least 20 or 30 minutes of your day checking with friends which you haven't spoken to in a while and see how they're doing. And I'm pretty sure if everyone hears this, then they can also pay it forward and create a movement of some sort. And just remember that it's not about what's going on the outside of a person as well. It's also what's going on inside. Pay it forward, guys.
And just keep swimming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's my turn to close the show.
It's your turn to close.
So, guys, again, we just really want to open up the conversation and let you guys know that we're here. We're here. Message us on Instagram at Have a Nice Day Podcast. Send us an email at haveanicedayshow@gmail.com. And please don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and follow us on Spotify because that really, really helps us. And anywhere you get your podcasts from.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's been a while since I closed the show. Thank you so much for listening. And guys, we're just so happy to go over the 8th hump.
Yeah, we made it through.
We made it through. And there's so much more coming your way. Thank you all for your support because we're really overwhelmed by your messages. And every episode, if there was just one person who would tell us that they enjoyed the episode, that we put a smile on their face or it set their morning right, that means
our job is done.
I was going to say that means a world to us. That means a lot to us and it means the world to us. So our job's done.
Also, let us know what you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
And I really like that we've had few suggestions already from people and we've done episodes about them already.
Yes.
So that means we are listening to you guys. Send us some questions, if you want some relationship advice or if you want some life advice from me.
The relationship episodes are the ones that are doing well. So it seems that you guys are very interested in relationship topics.
There's so many topics I want to talk about. Like, is it okay to break up with someone over text, or is it okay to date your best friend's ex? All this kind of stuff. All these kinds of questions. So if you want us to answer them or what we think about them, please do let us know.
I like that topic. Let's do that as our next one.
But thanks for listening, guys. And
on that note, have a nice day.
Gonna cry now.
Now let's talk.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Peace out, guys.